Hello everyone, this is Dr. Caroline Maria, working as an assistant professor in Loyola College of Education, Chennai. The title of the course is Educational Psychology, in which we are going to learn Unit 5, Personality. This is part 1 video lecture, which is going to focus on the meaning, definitions, determinants of personality, theories of personality, type theory, trait theory, and psychoanalytical theory. Let's see first what is personality. Personality came from a Latin root word persona, which is referred to the facial mask owned by the Roman characters on stage. Those days, Roman characters, they were just acting, while acting, they were wearing a facial mask. That was called as a personality. So, like that, we do have a mask like when we are a student, when we are a teacher, when we are a homemaker, we do have several roles. Each role we just wear a mask. That is what they are talking about. And personality is the totality of what a person is, how a person eats, how a person sleeps, and what makes a person to become distinctive from other person. It's all put together is your personality. The overall functioning of a person from morning till you go to bed, how you project yourself is what called as your personality. It is the individuality or the uniqueness of a person, and it is characteristic way of functioning of an individual and functioning of a person's thinking, feeling, behaving, etc. So how a person behaves in certain situations, certain way is called as personality. The characteristics of personality. Personality helps a person to become very self-conscious, and it is different for different people. Some people just have no care, don't care philosophy. Others would be very self-conscious. And the personality is dynamic. We cannot brand a person that a person would be like this. He'll follow rules and regulation and he would be XYZ like that. We can anytime change our personality. If we come across with any limitations in our personality, that can be changed and that can be modified, and our personality can be assessed. And our personality is the product of our heredity and environment, and it is modifiable as well as even adjustable, and it is related to uniqueness. Each person has their own personality, like inherent. They may not change. Some traits they would never like to change, and it is integrated as a whole. Sometimes we may come across with difference of opinion, and we may have an open-mindedness, and that open-mindedness is different for different people. When you have the open-mindedness to correct your personality, you can correct your personality and become a very good person. And some people have very good agreeableness. That is, whenever they have a difference of opinion or conflict, they come across with the new other ideas, they agree, and that's also different for different people. What are the factors which influence the person's personality? Three major factors we need to discuss are biological factor, sociological factor, and psychological factor. Biological factor related to each and every person's physique, the external appearance and the nervous system, and the chemic, it is in relation to the endocrine glands. Because of the secretion of the endocrine gland, personality is different for different people. Sociological, if you say the home environment, school environment, language, culture, all these are the defining factors of a person's personality. Psychological factor in relation to the intelligence, motivation, attitude, sentiment, interest, all these are playing a major role in a person's personality. Let's now focus on the theories of personality. There are three kinds of theories. Type theories based on the physical characteristics and the interest and leadership style. Trait theory based upon the special and peculiar features, which was proposed by R.B. Cattle. And type cum trait theory proposed by Eisnig, and it is based on both type and trait theory. Let's see what are the different type theories we come across with. Hippocrates was a famous philosopher and psychologist. He has proposed the type theory. He said that the human body consists of four types types of humerus or the fluids, which are the blood, yellow bile, phlegm, and the black bile. Based upon the secretion of all this fluid, each one's personality is different. That is the claim of Hippocrates. The predominance of one of these four types of fluid, which are all present in one's body, gives him a unique temperamental characteristics leading to a particular type of personality. Based upon the dominance of each fluid in a person, the characteristic and the personality is different. Let's see what are the different personalities according to him. He said that there is a personality type called Sanguine. They are always smiling, emotionally as well as physically strong. They are optimistic and energetic people. They have a fresh flow of blood in them. Choleric is the second characteristic of a person. It is irritable nature. They are emotionally weak but physically strong. And yellow bile secretion is predominant in them. So most of the time they would be emotionally weak and always irritable. Like, they would be always showing their angry face. The next one is phlegmatic. They are most of the time sleepy, emotionally strong but physically weak. Since they are emotionally strong only, they are able to get proper sleep. And they exhibit a personality trait as very lazy people. So for them, the phlegm is more in them. And the next one is melancholic. These are the people always they'll be sad, both emotionally as well as they are physically weak. Most of the time they come up with all negativity and negative ideas, so they are even otherwise called as pessimistic. And for them, the black bile secretion is more. Let's focus on the Kretschmer's theory of personality. Kretschmer was a German psychologist. He said that the personality of every person is divided into three categories based upon the body build. He has said aesthetic, pythnic, and athletic. Aesthetic people are even otherwise called as leptosomatic. They have a thin and narrow chested people. Because they do have this thin and narrow chested people, most of the time they feel themselves aloof, they keep themselves aloof, and they are pessimistic people and they are shy. Pycnic is the next kind of personality. They are short, fat, and barrel chested. Wherever they are, laughter would be there. So they are mostly jovial. Athletic are the people who have strong limbs, and most of the time they are energetic and optimistic. Sheldon came up with another idea of type theories. He said that he was an American surgeon. He said that based on the physical dimensions, human beings can be classified into three categories. They are endomorphic, ectomorphic, and mesomorphic. For endomorphic people, they have a bulky built body. So they are sociable in characteristics. Mesomorphic is athletically built and they are always energetic. Ectomorphic is very lean people and they are more concerned about their appearance and they are most of the time self-conscious. Spranger divided the people. He was a German philosopher. He has divided the people based upon the values and interest. He said that the people, those who are following strict rules and regulations, they are called as theoretical people. Money-oriented people could be called as economic people. The ones, those who are having good admiration for nature, they could be called as aesthetic. The ones, those who are very jovial in nature, can be called as a social people. The ones, those who are interested in politics, they can be called as politicians. And the ones, those who are interested in religion, paying much interest towards religion, they can be called as a religious people. Lippitt and White have classified the human beings into three main categories based upon their leadership style as authoritarian, democratic, and laissez-faire. These authoritarian people were very dictative. They would do or die. So that kind of people, like example Hitler. Democratic people are the ones who are cooperating. They listen to the ideas of the group members. Laissez-faire people, they lead a leadership style. They would just leave the group with complete freedom and you cannot demand any sort of discipline in them. Based upon the leadership style, Lippitt and White have divided the people into three categories. Then another person came as Ogburn. He has divided the people into various categories. Basically, he was a sociologist and he has divided the people as revolutionist, leader, proud, gambler, exhibitionist. The ones who, or those who come forward with new novel ideas, and the ones those who protest for social cause and all, they are called as revolutionists. Leaders are the ones who have already the leadership qualities, the political leaders. And the ones, those who are having a very good ego and they don't want to leave off their self concept as well as self respect, they are called to be proud. The ones, those who are involved in antisocial activities and taking things at the cost of others' happiness and all, they are called to be gamblers. And the ones, those who want to always blow their trumpet by going for a self praise, they can be called as exhibitionists. Carl Jung has divided the people into once again three categories as extrovert, introvert, and ambivert. Extrovert are the people who are sociable and they initiate the conversation. Introvert people are very pessimistic people. They always keep themselves aloof and very reserved people. Ambivert is a combination of extrovert and introvert. And at last, the Indian classification of the personality is Indian philosophers have classified the personality into three categories as Sattva, Rajos, and Tamos. Sattva is soft spoken, gentle, and honest, as well as truthful. Rajos are the people who are dominant, heroic, and ambitious. And Tamas, they are the people who indulges in the sensuous pleasure as well as they are untruthful and criminal. In the movie Padayappa, actually Rajinikanth would talk about Satvigam, Prajodagam, Bayodhigam. Satvigam he would refer to the heroine and Rajodagam he would refer to Ramya Krishnan character. Then the next person came, R.B. Cattle. He said, personality of a person depends upon the trait, whatever we have inherited from our parents as well as from our environment. So, personality is not based upon the different body constitution or leadership style or our interest or values, nothing sort of like that. Rather, it is based upon the special as well as peculiar features. He said that there are 12 independent traits and 4 secondary traits are there in each and every person. So in total, 16 traits decide a person's personality. And the person's personality depends upon the source trait and the surface trait. Source trait is the one which we have inherited from our parent, and surface trait is the one which we acquire through our daily life. Example are intelligence, our cheerfulness, etc. You could have an understanding seeing this table, source trait and surface trait. Source trait are the primary traits which we have inherited from our parent. And opposite to that, we can even have the surface trait, whatever we have through our experience. We could be either intelligent or stupid, emotionally stable or changeable, dominant or submissive, cheerful or unhappy, sensitive or hard boiled, thoughtful, aesthetic or bruise or coarse, cooperation or reserved, genial or hostile, vigorous or slack, hypersensitive or phlegmatic, friendly or suspicious, conscientious or slipshod. He has told there are 4 other secondary traits also we come across with. We could be either conservative or experiment, group dependent or self dependent, controlled or uncontrolled, relaxed or tensed. So these are the source traits and surface trait. Based upon this only, we come across with different kinds of personality is the claim of R.B. Cat. H.J. Eisenach, a German psychologist, came up with type and trait theory. He said that the personality of a person depends upon both type and trait. The type level personality, for an example, introvert or extrovert, could be changed as trait level personality, and it is a combination of both which will be reflected in a person's personality. Let me give you an example. A task or an assignment or a project is given to two students who will show their level of personality. One student A is very phlegmatic, that is very lazy. Another person is very active, that is sanguine. These two are the type level personality they show. Once after showing this type level personality, the assignment is asked by the teacher. Here comes the trait level personality. The one who was very lazy, he was like very slack. But the one who was very active, he was hypersensitive, and he has completed the assignment or the project, and he has come up to the class and he is exhibiting. So this becomes a habit. The one who was very lazy, careless and all will become a habit, and they can become an introvert person. But the one who is active and energetic, hypersensitive, he or she can become a very extrovert person, and this will reflect in their characteristic. Like this person becomes a shy and timid person, and the other one, the one who has completed the project, who come up with very good work, was always ambitious and outspoken. But there is always a possibility for a person to switch over from A to B or B to A, that is from introvert to extrovert or extrovert to introvert, shy to ambitious and outspoken, and timid to an outspoken person. So these are the theories of type and trait theory. Let's now learn the psychoanalytical theory proposed by Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud was born in Freiburg town in Czech Republic. He graduated from a medical faculty and officially recognized. He released a book called Interpretation of Dreams, and he passed away in the year 1939. His contributions are: he had a very good view for human nature. He has proposed three levels of mental life of every person and the structure of personality, three levels of awareness and the components of personality. Let's see one after the other. Three levels of awareness according to Sigmund Freud are conscious, preconscious and unconscious. Conscious level is our immediate current data, whatever is there in our mind, and it is active, very active. Whenever we are asked what's your name, immediately you tell your name. So this is called as the working memory. At present you are listening to me, I am talking to you, this is your working memory. This is called as the conscious level, and it is very easily accessed by all the people all the time. The second level is called pre-conscious mind, and here the content of the mind will be there, and it has happened recently. For an example, what did you eat yesterday, last week by this time what were you doing? All these are the recent data which is available. Whenever needed, you can retrieve the data. All your thoughts, memories, knowledge, wishes, feelings, all these are there in your memory. And this is also available for easy access whenever we are in need of. There is another level of awareness which is called as unconscious mind. And here the content are kept out of the conscious awareness. It is not accessible at all. For an example, what happened to you when you were 2 year old? What happened to you when you were 5 year old? Data may be there in you, that is the traces of memory you may have, but it is not accessible at all. It will go, we have to go for a proper procedure in order to put the person into deep sleep in order to retrieve all the data. So the processes that are actively keep these thoughts from awareness. Let's focus on some more information with regard to the three levels of mental life. Unconscious mind contains all the feelings, urges, instincts that are beyond our awareness. But if it will affect our expression, feeling, and action. For an example, slip of the tongue. You would say, right? I know the answer, but it is up to me. It is up to my throat. I'm not able to bring it out. And all your dreams, all your wishes, it's all related to our unconscious mental side. Then, pre-conscious is the place where the facts are stored in the part of the brain which are not conscious but are available for the possible use in the future. A person will never think about the home address at that moment, but when a friend asks the home address, she would be able to recall it and retrieve the data and give the data. Conscious mind is the only level of mental life that are directly available to us. The current awareness of our own mental process, our thoughts, our feelings, what we are doing at present right now is what called as our conscious mental life. Freud has given the structure of personality into three dimensions as id, ego, and superego. Id is the idiot behavior, ego, and superego. We'll focus on one after the other. Id, ego, and superego are available in different levels. It is available exclusively in unconscious mind. Ego is between pre-conscious, unconscious as well as unconscious. And superego is available in pre-conscious mindset. Let me give you an example. It is the animal behavior. And a person, whoever is involving himself in an activity which the opponent is not for it, and a person would like to go for a self-seeking, pleasure-seeking behavior, that is what is called as id behavior. See, for an example, even though you are a diabetic person, if you want to eat chocolates or sweets, that is a id behavior. You don't mind about your family, you don't mind about your children, you just want to satisfy your pleasure. That is id behavior. But the ego behavior will tell us or teach us how to do, what not to do, like a sort of policeman. So it is ego behavior is saying I can eat a small piece of sweet without the knowledge of other people. So that is ego behavior. After eating, you will have a sort of guilty conscience. And superego is a behavior where it will motivate the person to go for following the moral values. So you can say that I'm on super diet, I'm not going to eat chocolate at all. So here which you are able to have a proper control about your eat behavior. It is the animal behavior, as I told you, and it resides completely at the unconscious level, and it acts on the pleasure seeking principle to gain the pleasure and avoid the pain. For an example, if a goat just passes by our door, and if we have a plant which has a green leaf in front of our house, will the goat press the calling bell and ask us the permission to eat the fleshy leaf? No, the goat just eats on its own. This is what called as animal behavior. Like same way, if human beings are going for only satisfying their pleasure, that is called it behavior. So that will urge them to go for an immediate gratification of their pleasure, not willing to compromise at all. And it generates all the personality's energy. Ego behavior is a person's behavior which is like a policeman. It will tell us what to do, what not to do. It resides in all the three levels of awareness as conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. And it operates as the reality principle. And it will tell us that we should not do. For an example, we take a student. A student is there in class, a small child, let us take. A 4-year-old child is tempted by the pencil box which another of her friend is having. So the id behavior will motivate the child to go and steal the pencil box. And ego behavior will say, okay, you can go, just touch, you can take the pencil box, you can open it, you can have a look at it and keep it in the place without the knowledge of your friend. And the superego behavior will say, what you are doing is wrong. If you want similar pencil box, you can ask the child where she got the pencil box and you can tell your parents to get the similar pencil box for you. That is the superego behavior. So here ego will relate to negotiation. It will say that, okay, nothing wrong in this. All are doing. So let me also do that. And id and superego to satisfy both the realistically. Superego is like just like a strict supervisor. It will be residing in the pre-conscious mind, and it operates on the morality principle. It begins, the moral value starts at the age of 4 or 5. So we are told what to do, what not to do. Initially formed from the environment and others, especially from the family, society, etc. And essentially we would become conscious of doing what. So the morality behavior will lead us to walk in the right path. In every human being, we come across with id behavior, ego behavior, and superego behavior. In every situation, which behavior is dominating in us, that is our personality. For which behavior we are giving much importance. If you take a criminal, for him, the id behavior is dominating. If you take a person who has committed some crime without the knowledge of the other person, or yeah, like hiding and doing all that and living with a guilty conscience, that is called as ego behavior. Those who are saying no to no and they are leading a moral life, they are called to be superego people. So you cannot segregate the human beings into three categories. Rather, every human being come across with these three kind of behavior, and in every situation, whichever behavior we are giving much importance, that is reflected in our personality. When we are going for superego mode, we can become an integrated personality where we can go for a self realization of our thoughts, words, and deeds, and we accept ourselves. We accept our limitations, all our negative aspects, and we accept even our strength. And Albert is a famous psychologist. He said that there are two characteristics of an integrated personality. One is self extension, where you have a clear life values. Another one is self objectification, where we can evaluate oneself without any bias, do or die, this or that. So we will have complete objectivity towards us. The integrated personality people will be themselves and they accept themselves. In order to be a better personality, we need to be ourselves and accept ourselves. And we need to be a self actualized personality. As a teacher, we are expected to be emotionally and socially matured individual, as well as a well adjusted personality. And the self-actualized person or the integrated personality will always try to bring out the best in oneself. According to Sigmund Freud, he said that there are two kinds of energy prevailing in every human being. One is eros, the other one is thanatos. Eros is the life instinct, thanatos is the death instinct. Eros will always motivate us to live further and further, go and achieve all the goals. Thanatos will actually disappoint us, and it will be creating a sort of depression and sad mood in us, and it will give a death instinct, and they would say that we are unworthy to live. Why? What is the purpose of your life? You can kill yourself. All these kind of energy will be given by the thanatos, which is the death instinct. According to Sigmund Freud, he said that the human nature is of two kinds. One is deterministic. They are the people who will see the life in a positive manner. And in order to lead the life, they would just go for gaining the pleasure and avoiding the pain. Another kind of people are, they are mostly depending upon the energy system. Freud believed that human beings are motivated by unconscious, where the id behavior is found with aggression and sexual instinct. Key takeaways from this video lecture are: personality is the characteristic way of functioning of an individual in terms of thinking, feeling, and behavior. Be yourself and accept yourself in order to bring out the better self in your personality. As a teacher, how will you help your students to improve their type personality, and plan your strategies to instruct your students to help them to live a life listening to superego and to overcome the dominance of id behavior? This is essential. This exercise is essential for every pupil. For further notes, you can refer to these reference books. Thank you for listening. Wish you all good luck.